Hello everybody, howdy, welcome. I'm Matthew Street. I'm so happy you're here visiting my channel. Folks, it's kind of a rant video, kind of me being a little dramatic. I hope you'll bear with me. But can I just ask this question? Does anyone care anymore? Or does anyone feel that Rolling Stone magazine has any significance or any cultural influence anymore on anybody? Or has it become a total joke at this point? Because I'm tending to lean with the latter. It's become a total joke at this point. Now, I'm going to, in the interest of full disclosure, for about 10 years, I was a loyal subscriber to Rolling Stone magazine. I was. For about 1979 until the late 80s, like 88 or 89, I faithfully subscribed to Rolling Stone. I enjoyed it. I loved getting their little music list at the back of each magazine or each edition. I enjoyed articles. I enjoyed the music people they had on the covers and the stories written about them and learning about new bands. They had a great news section. And I just always was into that magazine. Among many, I like Cream and Hit Parader and what was some of the others out there? Circus, remember all those magazines? And I used to consider Rolling Stone to be right there with all my other magazines as a cool music publication. What's happened to it, folks? It's become a joke. I mean, I'm sorry. You can call me a grouchy old man, call me an old codger, whatever you want to call me, an old fart, or as us New Englanders say, an old fart, whatever you want to call me, okay? How could the Beatles have such a poor showing in the recent Rolling Stone list of top 500 albums of all time? How can it happen? The last time they did this list was in 2003. And back then, the Beatles had not only the #1 spot in Sgt. Pepper, they had at least two others in the top 10. Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't have any list in front of me. They had at least 11 albums on the total list of albums, from what I remember. Well, that's dropped, folks. I don't know which two left the list, but it's down to, I think, only 9 made it to this edition of the top 500 greatest albums of all time. How did this happen, folks? And more than that, why all of a sudden does Rolling Stone feel, I understand, they want to do an updated list. It's been 17 years since the list. There's been a lot of new artists that have come out in the last 17 years. A lot of albums have come out in the last 17 years, and that's fine. Yeah, revise the list, do a new list, but revise it, upgrade it, update it. But I think one of the editors in a quote I read said, I forget his name, some fool over there at Rolling Stone, our goal was not to update, or what I say, revise the list is what they should have done, but our goal was to blow it up and recreate it from scratch. Why? Why? If an album was #1 in 2003, how does it drop to number 24 all of a sudden in 2020? You might be saying, well, that's because they updated the list, Matt. So there's got to be 23 other albums that have come out since Sgt. Pepper that jumped ahead of it. No. There's still a lot of the same albums that were on the list back in 2003 are still in there, up in that area of the top 23 or so. It's not like a lot of new albums came in and pushed Sgt. Pepper back. They just they blew it up and just did it over again. How does Sgt. Pepper, how was it the #1 album on the planet in 2003 and now it drops to number 24? It's still the same album. It still has had the same cultural, social, societal, whatever you want to call it, influence on people and youth and music and pop culture and everything. It's still there. It still created that for 53 years. How does it all of a sudden drop? And other albums that, well, I'll give you an example. How does an album like Kanye West, which granted it wasn't out in 2003, but how does one of his albums jump ahead of Sgt. Pepper? He's like number 17. One of his albums is number 17. How does that happen? How does that work? How does Sgt. Pepper go from #1 to 24, and let's put Kanye West at 17? Why? Because a bunch of kiddies this time all sent in their ballots and sent in 20 ballots or something for Kanye. So, he got more votes than Sergeant Pepper. Got to put him at number 17. Oh, sorry, Sergeant Pepper, you're back to number 24. How does that happen? It just makes me laugh, folks. It makes me laugh. How does an album jump 300 spots all of a sudden in 17 years? I'm talking about Lauryn Hill. I forget the name of the album. The Misidentification of Lauryn Hill or something. I don't care. How does that jump 300 spots and sneak into the top 10 at number 10? How does it happen? I'm not putting down Lauryn Hill. It may be a great album. But shouldn't it have been up much further than jumping 300 spots with this new list? It should have been way up there before. And then I would understand it. Well, back in 2003, Lauryn Hill's album was number 15, and with voting and all that, it jumped another 5 spots to number 10. I could understand that, but 300 spots, come on. If it wasn't that great of an album to be in the top 10 17 years ago, I don't see how much has changed that it should be in the top 10 now. And nothing against Marvin Gaye. I have the album What's Going On, which is now this year's number 1. I forget what it was last year, like last time, number 7 or something. But really, Marvin Gaye's album is now the number 1 album on this list. I love the album, folks. I have it somewhere on CD. I have What's Going On. It's a great album, okay? But really, it pushes Sgt. Pepper not only on the top spot. Now, it should have pushed Sgt. Pepper to like number 2 or 3 or something if they're going to do that. How does Sgt. Pepper drop to 24 and Marvin Gaye's album gets number 1? Well, I'm going to tell you my theory on that in a minute, why I think that's happened. Another thing that's kind of significant that I learned is that they've got a lot more contemporary albums on it now, which, okay, a lot of albums have come out in the last 17 years. A lot less rock and roll is on this list. And there's about 3 times as many more rap albums on the list now than there was back in 2003. I'm not putting that down. I know rap is a genre. I personally don't like it. I don't think it's quality music whatsoever. And it's not that I'm just an old codger, because there's a lot of new music I love that's quality, with great singing, great instrumentation, great melody, harmony, hooks, songwriting. But I'm sorry, rap, it doesn't fit in many of those categories at all. That's a little bit curious. Stevie Wonder's, I'll give you the top 5. Abbey Road from the Beatles is the highest now. It's number 5. Okay? Stevie Wonder's Song in the Key of Life is number 4. Love Stevie Wonder. He's great. Joni Mitchell's Blue is number 3. I'm not sure if I agree with that. And nothing against Joni Mitchell, but really? She's number 3? She's ahead of every Beatles album out there? Come on. Something's up here. Beach Boys' Pet Sounds, which I know that's a controversial album. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Some people don't understand why it's so popular or considered to be such an influential album. Pet Sounds is number 2 now, which I love Pet Sounds. I mean, I have a whole box set here somewhere of Pet Sounds outtakes and this and that, and I've got vinyl, I've got my CD, and I love the Beach Boys and I love Pet Sounds, but I'm sorry, Pet Sounds does not deserve to be above Abbey Road, Sgt. Pepper, Rubber Soul, or Revolver. It just doesn't. Okay? It doesn't. All right? Sue me. And as you know, Marvin Gaye's What's Going On is now number 1. I have the album. It's a great album, but I don't think it deserves to be number 1. All right? So a couple of Beatle ones. Like I said, Sgt. Pepper's number 24. Abbey Road is 5. Revolver's number 11. Which really, Revolver's behind Lauryn Hill. She gets 10. They get 11. Beatles get 11 there. Questionable, don't you think? White Album is 29. That seems shaky to me. Rubber Soul is 35. And Let It Be, it's somewhere in the top 300. I don't even know where it is. And, that's just 6 of the Beatles albums right there. I think there's 3 more in there somewhere. I think, like, Meet the Beatles is in like the top 200 or something somewhere. I mean, come on. Meet the Beatles in the United States alone, when it came out, the influence it had on culture, society, the youth of America, the influence it had on future music, the artists that saw them on Ed Sullivan that night, and decided to become musicians, and some famous ones to this day have said if it was seeing the pivotal moment in their life of becoming a professional musician and then eventually successful was seeing the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show when Meet the Beatles, the album, came out on Capitol in January of 1964, and then Ed Sullivan the next month. Yet it's like 100 and something, up near 200 or something. I don't even know what it is. Come on. Now, yet D'Angelo, I'm going to name some artists now that just blew my mind. D'Angelo is number 28. Wu-Tang Clan, or Wu-Tang, whatever they call themselves, 27. Notorious B.I.G. gets a 22 album. Kendrick Lamar, 19. Jay-Z is 50, one of his albums. The Ramones, which I think is kind of a crime, get number 47 with their first album, self-titled. Now listen to this one that really got me. Kanye West is number 17. Ah, my goodness. You gotta be kidding me. Let It Bleed by the Stones is 42. I think the Stones' highest one is in the top 20 somewhere. It's Exile on Main Street. I mean, I think they got gypped a little bit there. Ziggy Stardust by Bowie is like 40. Yet Dr. Dre gets 37. Go figure. Beyonce's recent Lemonade album gets number 32. Now, you might be saying here, oh, Matt, what are you just bitter? You bitter? No, I'm not bitter. And I don't have anything against artists of color or black artists or Asian artists or Hispanic artists. I mean, that's a bunch of bunk. Don't even try to go there with me because you don't know me and you don't know what I'm all about, because that's not me. Because there's albums on this list by Michael Jackson, Aretha Franklin, Miles Davis, Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Wonder, Prince. There's plenty of artists of color on this list that I go, yeah, wholeheartedly, I agree with them being on the list and where their positions are. Some of them are in the top 10, like Marvin Gaye. I agree he should be in the top 10. That album should be in the top 10, but I don't think it should be number 1. Okay? So don't give me any bunk about, oh, you're just saying you don't like Notorious B.I.G. at number 22 because he's a rapper and all that. No, it has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with who he is or was or what his genre is, rap. The music just does not hold up to the other 21 albums above it. Okay? It just does not. So, say what you want. Or Kanye West should get number 17. You kidding me? Yet Sgt. Pepper's 24. Now, that right there alone should tell you this list is skewed. It's wrong. Okay? How does Sgt. Pepper get number 24 and Kanye West hit number 17? Please explain that to me. Please explain it to me. I don't get it, okay? Next you're going to tell me that Drake is on this list somewhere. Oh my goodness, I think he is. I think he is on this list somewhere, folks. Oh boy. Drake. Remember Drake? Got his Beatles tattoo there. He's better than the Beatles. Go back to that video I did about a year ago if you want to see my reaction to that. Anyway, folks, I just have to laugh at this list. I just think it's silly. My only guess can be is that they just feel, I don't know, with what's going on in the world today or something, they feel that they felt this obligation to, blow it all up and reshuffle it so it'll make, certain segments of the population happier or feel more like, yeah, thank you. I don't know. I don't know who they're trying to make feel good here. And I don't think that's what it should be all about. I don't think it should be an issue like that where we got to make people feel better and good. And that's not what it should be all about. It should be about what cultural, emotional, musical, societal impact that album had. What was it trying to say? What was its message, and how did it resonate with people? And then you got to, and there's many that do that. And then how do you stack them all up? But how can you have an album like Sgt. Pepper was number 1 17 years ago and drops to 24, and then Kanye West can jumps in at 17? That just doesn't make sense to me, folks. It's skewed. It's wrong. This list is obviously flawed, big time. Okay? But then again, you might be saying, oh, Matt, you're getting all worked up and excited. Folks, don't take this too serious, okay? After this video is over, the Matt Street costume comes off, and I'm going to go outside, play with my dog, and enjoy the sunny day, and have myself a Coke Zero and kick back and listen to some Beatles music or some other great music. But I can guarantee I won't be listening to a lot of the baloney that's on this new Rolling Stone 500 album list. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. But we knew that, okay? So don't take me too serious here, folks. I don't get too excited about these things. Like I say, once this is over, I could care less about the Rolling Stone top 500 albums of all time list. What irks me is that there are people out there that actually take this stuff really serious. And they, oh yeah, look at, Kanye West, he's number 17. Or, Joni Mitchell, number 3, Matt, number 3, where's the Beatles? Oh, she's better than all the Beatles albums. That's what irks me, is the people that actually think this is reality. This is real. It's not, folks. It's a big flaming joke. A flaming pie, a flaming joke. So, I don't know. What do you all think of this stuff? I just have to laugh at some of the baloney that was thrown onto this list. It just boggles my mind, folks. Boggles my mind. And I'm sorry. And I'm going to say it, the Beatles are the number 1 artist of all time. Wait a minute, I don't even remember seeing Elvis in the top 20. Did anyone see Elvis in the top 20? Where was From Elvis in Memphis? I'm sure it's in there somewhere. It's got to be in there somewhere, his greatest album. Where is it? I don't even know where it was. I didn't go through the whole list, but I'll tell you, I got very disgusted very quick, and I just said, I can't deal with this baloney. This is just, it's just like sickening, Anyway, folks, I hope you had a little fun with me. I'm just trying to get you jazzed up. I'm getting a little jazzed up here, Got to get the boys jazzed up back here. Come on, guys. What is this? Number 5, Abbey Road. Number 11, Revolver. Come on, we can do better than that. Let's go. Come on, team. Let's go. Let's go get them, Beatles. Come on, we're the Beatles. You bet you damn straight we're the Beatles. And we're coming for you. Yeah, we're coming for you.